Meanwhile, Inglewood native Jamal Hill will also be chasing gold in the pool next month when the Paralympic Games begin. While the top-ranked American swimmer is pursuing his ultimate goal in Tokyo, he also knows the difference he can make in his community. Our Kristin Smith now has more on today's Hometown Hero.
Hometown Hero, sponsored by Rotolo Chevrolet.
I want to take it back from the beginning.
Okay.
You know, I know you were very young when you first realized that you had some pretty severe physical challenges.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about that.
Absolutely. So I was 10 years old, and literally it all hit at once. It's a type of hereditary neuropathy called Charcot-Marie-Tooth. And what it does is it affects the nerves from my elbow to my fingertips and from my kneecaps down to the soles of my feet. When it first manifested, though, it was in this inflamed state. It literally put me into a full body paralysis. So I'm 10 years old, regular kid. I was swimming at this time, playing different sports, having a good time. And literally at Thanksgiving dinner, and my arm falls asleep, my leg falls asleep. Next thing I know, all I can do is really talk and move my head around. You know, this is not normal. This is not okay here. So from that age of 10, I actually had to stop swimming. Just because the neuropathy, it affected my shoulder, it affected my joints pretty severely. In addition to the paralysis, doctors were talking about trying to amputate limbs if I didn't stop swimming. Because of like how hypermobile my joints were becoming. I had put this disability out of my mind, and again, in some ways, I had the privilege to do so. You know, like if I'm wearing pants or something like that, nobody's even talking about my legs. Nobody has a reason. It's just a matter of like, how much does Jamal want to, you know, kind of own internally? When I picked swimming back up in high school, eventually I was able to get a D3 scholarship, swam through college, and at this time, my family, funny story, they're like, you think you'll ever go to the Olympics one day, try and go to the Paralympics? Well, we're not talking about even the Paralympics at this time. It's still like, even my disability is under wraps. Go out there, swim my hardest, absolute disappointment. Absolute disappointment. Yeah, I was swimming maybe a little bit faster than I had in high school. At this time, I was thrust into a mild depression. I am crying all the way back to the bus, all the way back to school. You know, those first 3 days after the meet, I'm locked in my dorm room, and I realized like, wow, Jamal, you must really care about swimming. Like, this is hitting you pretty hard here, buddy. And so all at once, it was just an epiphany, like, well, if I care about it this much, at this time I'm a physics major and a French minor, maybe I should just try and make this my career.
Today, #1 ranked nationally, you're third in the world. Going to Tokyo to compete on the Paralympic stage. I mean, is there a point where you're like, is this a dream?
Mind you, this is the first time Paralympic trials has ever been on NBC. So my family has seen this. My phone's blowing up, I'm getting calls, and it's like, I imagine like a big test. Like imagine if there's a 5-question test, bunch of short answer essay questions. Each question is gonna take you 30 to 60 minutes. You got that picture? Mm-hmm. I'm on question number 3 right now. And I just finished 60 minutes and my phone's blowing up in the exam hall. They're like, how do you feel? Like, you've did it, you've done it. And I'm like, trust me, I feel so grateful for this moment, but like the test is not over yet. Like, I still have a little bit more work to do here.
So tell me about Swim Uphill.
Our mission is to teach 1 million people how to swim annually through the Swim Uphill method. And so I founded in 2018. I was standing on a podium. I had a medal around my neck. Epiphany. Man, I want to offer more to this world than just a smiling face with medals. Right then our mission became, okay, how do we provide access? You know, how do we create a system that allows people to begin to gain simple swim education skills even if they don't have a pool? And ultimately, how do we start to overcome these generational traumas that really primarily Black and brown people face all around the world when it comes to water, you know, because of past experiences, because of, you know, auntie said don't do this, or, you know, the water is dangerous, so instead of learning to swim, we just stay away from it. We're actually coming together with Angel City Ports to develop a disability swimming program for them, because they have the Angel City Games every year, and that's pretty much like the Paralympics of Los Angeles. You know, and so kids come, they learn other sports, but currently they don't have a swim lesson portion of this experience. So with our program, that's being able to take students from can't swim to can swim on a 5-hour course time really opens up a lot of possibilities to see athletes grow and have new experiences.
Now, we have the last name here, but I tell you, that's where the similarity ends. He's 10 times smarter and much braver than I am, that's for sure.
Just watching that, great job by Kristin Smith, that story, but his attitude is infectious. I looked up his Instagram, he's got almost 70,000 followers, and he's very positive on social media with what he wants to give. And instead of saying, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, he's finding a way to make things happen and live his dream as an Olympian.
And as we listen to him, you just know and feel deep in your heart, he's going to do some really big things in his life.
And as he said, to help out the community, the black and brown community, to make sure that they're able to swim and to get advantages that other cities have that they don't have in the inner city. And he's making a big impact where it's not just, oh, I'm swimming here, it's leaving an impact and a legacy.
And we want to salute him, that is for sure.